well.
The winner got over $1 million last year, and I wouldn't be shocked if the 2008 main event winner clears $2 million.
It's like they're bringing the game to you, and what else can you ask for?
Educating the sucker. When a bad player beats you a pot on the river with a bad play, don't tell him how we should play better. Just say, nice hand.
Hubris. Hubris means like a false sense of pride, you know, a belief in yourself that goes beyond what is real.
I deserve to hit this.
And this is an endemic disease in the poker world.
It's the biggest hand you've ever seen in your life, I swear to God.
No matter how good a player is, they always think they're better. And that adds up to making mistakes at the poker table, because when you overestimate your own abilities, you're probably underestimating your opponent's.
Checking to the razor. Just because somebody raised before the flop does not mean that they have aces or kings all the time. It doesn't mean that they hit the flop. Do something instead of just always, 99% of the time, check to the razor.
Over celebration. There's no need to jump and dance around like an idiot. Act like you've been there before.
I love the river! I love the river!
Risk adversity.
I call.
People think they're in a tournament to prove that they can outlast someone else, but really the goal is to not only make it in the money, but to make it to the final table and have a chance to win the tournament.
My deadliest sin at the poker table. It's when that guy across the table asked me to take off my sunglasses, and I just know that the reason he wants me to take off my sunglasses is because he wants to know if I'm hot. What's that have to do with poker? It's not like when I sit down at the table, I turn to the guy next to me and I'm like, hey, by the way, could you unbutton your pants?
Dealer abuse. A lot of poker players think they're above the dealers or better just because they're playing poker and the dealer's on the other side pitching cards. But we have to treat everybody like a regular human being, and dealers are no different.
Sometimes it can be difficult to take, but for all poker players, exiting from a tournament is part and parcel of the game. With only around 10% of the initial starting field making it into the money, there's always going to be the high chance it won't be you.
I usually go to the emergency room to fix my broken hand after punching the wall, but no, I'm usually in a bad mood for 30 seconds to maybe 5 minutes, something like that, and then I'm fine and it's no big deal. I don't see how anyone who's played as much as me or more could still be getting really upset when they get knocked out of a tournament.
It's not something you really prepare for, but it's always good to have a plan B, just in case.
I like to do scuba diving, I like to watch movies, I like music.
To spend some beach time, or at least maybe a jacuzzi, go do a little jet skiing.
I've been to the gym a few times, the spa, the pool.
Some scuba diving.
They have cool water slides here.
I wish I could read a book sometime in my life.
I think they got a jacuzzi somewhere here.
The key, relaxation.
Yeah, that was money. I never really think about getting knocked out of a tournament early, but if I am going to get knocked out of a tournament early, it's always good to have like a plan B. And here in the Bahamas, this is not such a bad plan B. Golf is my new passion. Golf is where I get my adrenaline rush. Hitting a good shot, you know, the frustration, the fact that it's all me against the course, you know, that's where I get my rush. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, stop right there. When I come to the PokerStars Caribbean Adventure on the EPT, I'm doing some marketing, we're doing some little promo stuff, doing some interviews like this one, doing a lot more than just playing in the event. Easy game.
Once out of a tournament, today's professional players have less spare time on their hands than most, with all the sponsorship commitments to uphold. Interviews, advertising campaigns, biographies, DVD promotion, all part and parcel of the professional poker player's daily life. For the player that doesn't have sponsorship commitments and a little more spare time on their hands before they return home, high-stakes cash games, smaller buy-in tournaments, and a relatively new form of poker known as battleship poker are on offer. However, these side events are mainly aimed at the early eliminations and the new generation of poker player rather than the seasoned pro.
The new generation, the 18 and 20-year-olds, I think they're so consumed with the game. They love it so much that when they get knocked out of a tournament, you'll notice that they're all just playing more poker. When I was their age, when I was young, that's all I was doing too, was sleep, eat, breathe, poker, poker, poker. Eventually, though, balance is key.
And EPT champions agree that having a plan B can be more beneficial to your game than going straight back to the table.
School actually started today, so I need to head on back.
Once I'm out of this, that's it. I'm not playing any more poker for this trip.
An equilibrium between rest and play is good advice to any aspiring player, especially when poker pays the bills.
All right. I guess we can say, forget the PGA, I'll stick with the PCA. Playing poker, playing hockey, it's the same deal. It's about challenging your opponents, learning to make the right move at the right time. With over 10 million players, more tables and more tournaments at every level than anyone else, learn for free at the world's largest poker site, PokerStars.
European Poker Tour events are freeze-out tournaments. This means at the very start everyone is given 10,000 chips, and by the very end one player has them all. And on the way, whenever a player loses all their chips, he or she is eliminated. Each tournament lasts 4 days. The fields are so big, there are 2 day ones. The survivors from both these days return for day 2. And this is where the action starts to get hot. As the blinds get big and more players get knocked out, the number of tables gets smaller. And those who are still around at the closing stage of day 2 won't go home empty-handed. Typically, around 30 players get paid. No problem. Day 3, that's all about the final table. The last 8 players battle it out till one person's left with a trophy and the big money.
You never know.
Welcome back to EPT Live. Welcome back to the final table of this Barcelona leg of Season 5. Play about to resume here. Very quick update on the World Championship of Online Poker event that's running at the moment. Event number 19, the 25,000 no limit hold'em heads up. 21 players remain from the 64 who started. And the last big result is that Greg Raymer was beaten heads up by Daniel Negreanu.
I just want to leave then.
Raymer making 2 pairs on the river, Negreanu making a straight. All the money went in. Negreanu won the pot and that round.
As we see the chip count now, it's almost even between all these all the remaining players here. Fintan Gavin still leading by slightly. 2.4 million. He's got David Dikitai 2 million and Sebastian Rutenberg 1.8 million in chips.
I'm happy.
It's actually pretty even, isn't it?
Yeah, that's amazing. So nobody can lean back and wait for somebody to exit early. Everyone's under pressure now.
Blinds still 50 and 100,000. So every player with roughly 20 big blinds. Looks like action is about to get underway.
Here's my B game.
We're ready to go.
Every player, all 3 of them, posting the ante of 10,000.
100,000 on the blinds. We're going to have Fenton in the small, Sebastian on the big.
Finn in the small blind,
Davidi's
Sebastian in the big blind, and that means Davide on the button will be first to act.
You know Michael, yeah? Michael who?